such chaos.
I remember Blu-rays at the time were going for ridiculous money, and it would, like Independence Day, $58, or
And it was just HD though, wasn't it?
I think so.
Or it didn't go 4K on Blu-ray, did it?
Don't think so. I never had a Blu-ray player. I think the best I got was a PlayStation that.
Or an Xbox did as well.
That's interesting.
Are we going to get started?
I don't know. It's your show.
We've already had the best content, and that's Adam getting ripped by a bloody cruise ship entertainer.
Downloader.
Okay, did you get the brief, Smokes?
Yes, I did, mate. Yeah.
So you're prepared?
I'll flick it on. Oh, yeah, well, for this. Yeah, I'm very prepared.
Sounds like you're over-prepared.
I actually had about 20 minutes to sit there and go over the stuff. So
he's proper prepared. Fuck.
That's 20.
Some notes, everything.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
Well, we've got all the outtakes already.
Holy smokes.
Are we doing a Who Are We, like an intro?
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Okay, so what's your intro, Smokes, please? Because I'm dying to know.
Are we actually, is this the podcast?
We're going to start.
We're already recording.
We're recording on all channels.
We're 4 minutes in. We're live on Instagram.
No, we're not. That one I know for sure.
Gotcha.
Got him.
Go.
Smokes, tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Adam Hollioake. I'm like Australia's greatest athlete, creator, and producer.
You've said it in the wrong order, mate.
Oh, you can't even read. I've got to take these sunnies off. There we go.
That's good, right? That's
yeah,
good
well done.
content.
Great radio there.
That's who you are.
That's who I am.
Thanks very much.
I thought you said you'd researched.
Should we start again?
Thought you had notes.
Well, I haven't researched myself. I've researched the topics.
I thought you already knew all that stuff anyway. G'day, guys. Welcome to the inaugural Sports Corner.
Sports Corners, that's what it's
Here at
called.
the corner of Media 8. We'd like a massive shout out to our sponsors, Official Beer Co., Platinum Standard Grading, Local Card Shop, and Media8 Sports. How we doing, boys?
Very well.
We've got one of our other hosts. He's on the phone because he's got a great job this week. Is it the under-12 Queensland team he's coaching?
Up-and-comers.
Up-and-comers. So the under-11s from the best players in Queensland at cricket. And that's Adam Hollioake, Holy Smoke, former England cricket captain, creator and producer of Australia's greatest athlete. Hello, mate.
How you going, boys?
Very well, Smokes.
So what we're going to do, just because it's the first one ever, we're going to actually go into this and we're going to intro ourselves. And this week we're going to go our best sporting achievement as a player, our best sporting achievement as a coach / ref / umpire, because I know some haven't had sporting achievements.
Well, I don't have any referee.
And who your first ever team was?
Okay.
I'm starting with you.
So my first ever team would have been St. Patrick's.
Who are you?
Rugby
Supposed
league.
to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. Christopher Brendan Bilston. That's it. That's me.
First team?
First team, St. Patrick's Rugby League team in the Sutherland Shire.
What position do you play?
I don't think you have positions of that.
Under sixes?
Under sixes, no.
Under sixes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was born in Melbourne but moved up to Sydney when I was 5 and I don't think there was much option to play AFL, so jumped into league.
Love it.
Best achievement as a
Best
player.
achievement as a player?
Bit of a funny one. Cricket team got all out for 4.
Your team?
The whole team.
Yeah.
The Sundries were the top scorer.
With how many?
I think 1. No. Maybe 2. And came back, won 2 games in a row outright, made it to the grand final and won the grand final.
Well done. Great achievement.
Made it onto Zoo, so that was probably the accomplishment. You know, Zoo
magazine.
Yeah, at the end they have like little facts and figures of our crappy teams.
Love it.
Made that. I'd never refereed, coached, or umpired.
So you have no achievements in that space?
No, don't really get along with umpires.
I reckon you'd be a feisty little fucker.
Yes and no. I like to commentate when I play, and some referees don't like that.
You commentate as yourself, though, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the third person?
Yeah.
I reckon Hollioake could do that.
And I speak to the other players as well. Like I like to chirp a little bit.
Oh, I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm not surprised about.
And, well, yeah, and I'm not surprised I didn't get on with umpires because every umpire I know is a wanker.
Hey, speaking of that then, moving over on my right. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Robert Verhove, and
What's your middle name?
I don't have a middle name.
Don't you really?
No. Well, if you got a surname like Verhove, I asked my parents this once. I said, "Why don't I have a middle name?" They said, "Have a look at your last name." Didn't want to complicate shit.
Fair call.
So
Makes sense.
Could have went with John.
yeah, well, yeah, could have.
Yeah.
Could have gone with something really weird and Dutch too.
Maybe it could be Rob and then Bert.
Robin, but I'll tell you what, if I ever had a kid, I would consider doing something like that just to fuck with their mind.
First team you ever played for?
The Deer Park under-9 football team.
What soccer?
AFL?
No, AFL.
Okay.
AFL, yeah.
Best
Won
sporting achievement?
won the premiership in 1980.
1980.
Yeah, I still got the T-shirt at home.
1980.
Yeah,
I was 7.
Mum got
Wasn't born.
Mum got a T-shirt made up. Deer Park Premiers.
Love it.
Yeah,
So
good.
yeah, found it after she passed. So
What age were you when you won the first flag?
8. Yeah, it was 8.
The under
So-
8s.
Was the
They
under
probably
9s,
wouldn't
mate?
allow you to have a grand final these days. You know that.
No, they wouldn't. Like we
You
played.
can't win or lose.
We played the grand final. Probably my greatest achievement was that day because I was pretty crap, and I kicked the ball in the last quarter. I kicked it out in the full, and the ball went over the fence and went down the hill a little bit. So the kid had to jump over, but there was no time on, so we won it by a
Oh,
point.
smart.
So I reckon,
Oh, well done.
Playing for time.
I actually reckon that I might have said to people I did it on purpose at the time, but I didn't. I just was shit. So
And we all know that you were an umpire
yep, that's
at both AFL and cricket.
yep.
And what's your greatest sporting achievement as a referee or umpire?
I guess I really enjoyed umpiring cricket because of the camaraderie, even amongst the players and the umpires. So, Brett,
What's your greatest achievement?
well, umpiring the first grade grand final a couple of times here on the Gold Coast, and umpiring country cricket in Queensland.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. But Chris, I would have given him a yellow card every day of the week because he's the wanker.
Well, that's why I stopped
A yellow
playing.
card in cricket.
That's why I stopped playing soccer. So I played rugby league and rugby union growing up. Played one season of soccer, got 3 red cards, and that was enough for me.
Well, in Gold Coast cricket, here's a great sports story. Gold
Yeah.
Coast cricket brought in a yellow and red card system after a bloke came onto the field with a knife and tried to stab a player.
What
Now-
team? What club?
Now,
Are we
I
allowed
won't-
to
no,
name
no, I
names?
won't
I'm thinking
name them.
Narang.
I tell you, you're not far
I
off.
was thinking Labrador.
Stabrador.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but the best bit about it was they were on the same team.
Fuck off.
Oh, one of his
Yep.
What did he try and shag his missus or
Yep,
something?
exactly.
Wow.
So, they brought in a yellow and red card system.
What are you going to do with the guy with a knife, though? Oh, your yellow card, mate.
You got a bat.
Yeah, well, I don't
If you
know.
bring a gun, it's a red.
Well, I umpired for 7 years and I never used it once in cricket because for me, and here's a tip for everyone who wants to be an umpire or an official, don't let it get to that stage.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's all right. It's all good fun. It's all men playing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Who are you?
Brett John Presley McCallum, 50 years old as of last week.
Presley.
45 years participation in sport. Yes, that's my middle name.
Presley.
Brett John Presley McCallum. First team was the Carnival Terriers. I played under 5 soccer.
Presley.
My greatest moment in sport was I was the first under 15 Carnival Bombers AFL Premiership winning captain,
Wow.
which is something that I hold very close to my chest, and the trophy, obviously. And I coached the Aussie under 15 women versus New Zealand in a demo match of basketball. We were up here on the Gold Coast.
Did you get the
and
chockies?
we got smashed. But
By the Kiwis?
By the Kiwis, yeah. And I've never been so scared in my life than when the under 15 boys did the haka. And these boys were like fucking enormous. And scared the shit out of me. I think it scared the shit out of the girls. They weren't even playing the boys. But we got beaten. But that was something I got to wear the crest on my chest, and that's something I've always honoured and cherished. So that's
cool.
me. And who have we got on the phone? Introduce yourself.
Oh, I've got Adam Hollioake.
Middle name?
So, John.
John, nice.
Hello, John.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
Hey, AJ.
AJ,
hello,
Hollioake.
That's it. I'm not sure what my greatest sporting achievement is.
What
I
about
can
your
tell you
first
about
ever team, though? Start there.
My first ever team's the same as Chris's, it's St Patrick's. But it's St Patrick's in Ballarat. Not obviously, I think yours is. It sounds like it's in Sydney, does it, Chris?
Yep.
And was that rugby
Yeah.
league?
No, that was AFL. AFL country down in Ballarat. So
There you go.
Pretty cold out at
ever.
St Patrick's at Ballarat too.
freezing out on the wing,
Yeah.
just standing out the wing like.
Was that there? Is that where they put the slow fat kids?
Yeah. I wasn't slow, mate. I was.
Oh, you were
fast on the
speedy.
wing.
That's right.
He was,
Back then. slow now.
He was at that stage. He was the future producer and creator of Australia's Greatest Athlete.
Indeed.
Are you just stereotyping as well, thinking
I was.
the Islanders play in league?
100%.
Yeah.
So what's your greatest moment in sport?
Oh, I don't know my greatest moment, but I've got a good refereeing moment. So I've only refereed one thing, and I refereed a fight. So it was a corporate bout, and it was two massive guys. It was a rugby league boy, or two rugby league boys. One of them was a coach, and what he had stayed at the club. He was at Southport Tigers, but their gun first team player, who was young, about 120 kilos, ball of muscle, had gone and left club. So they set up this grudge match, and I was asked as a sort of celebrity ref to go and referee it. Anyway, I got there, and the young guy came. He would have been, 28 in his physical prime, and just an absolute weapon. And then the other guy had a little bit of boxing experience. Would have been like 40 odd. Anyway, the young gun came out, and he was just throwing bombs. Anyway, rocked him, and I was like, holy hell, I'm going to have to stop this fight. But anyway, the end of the first round comes, and the promoter, just Stephen NG, who I'm sure will probably get on the show at some stage, jumps up onto the canvas and says, mate, the young guy's got, he had 10-ounce gloves on, and the gloves they'd been using were usually red or blue, depending on what corner you're in. He had a bright green pair of gloves, so I hadn't even noticed that he had these 10-ounce gloves on. So that was a good start. Then the second round comes. Now the young guy's gassed. He's run out of gas. He's thrown all his biggest shots in the first round. He's now absolutely exhausted. So he starts spitting his mouth guard to try and get a rest. So I start off stopping it and putting the mouth guard back in. After a while, I said, well, he's doing it on purpose. So I just decided that, okay, we can just fight on without the mouth guard then, mate. So then the promoter's up on the canvas again at the end of the round. He said, mate, you can't do that. I said, well, he's spitting it out on purpose. He said, yeah, but it's a charity fight. We can't have blokes losing their teeth. And I said, well, if he wants to spit it out, he can fight without it. So I was sacked after one bout in charge as a referee. So that's my refereeing career, or refereeing.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So you captained your country, you played in Ashes cricket, you played in the World Cup, and your greatest sporting moment is when the bloke spat his mouth guard out and you were refereeing.
No, that was his greatest refereeing moment.
Oh, his greatest refereeing moment.
Well, he's got no highlights.
Because he said he's got no highlights.
We've spoken about
that's
that.
right, yeah.
So what? So obviously captaining England must have been a sort of highlight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
was only
I
England.
think captaining Surrey was, if I think back on it, I think captaining Surrey was more of a surprise because I'd never captained any team in my life. Going up through the age group, I was a bit of a problem child, and
Nothing's changed.
And I think when they came to me when I was about 22, 23, the coach came to me and said, "Hey, we want you to captain." I literally turned around because I thought there was someone standing behind me because I'd never been asked to captain any other side before.
Who did you replace at Surrey?
Well, Alex Stewart got picked to go and play for England. He had already been. He was away regular for the foreseeable future. So they're like, "Hey, we need a captain who's going to actually be here." So
is that someone that won't make the England team?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I was young at the time. I think I was 22 or something like that. So they picked me as that, and then I kind of stayed there. I stayed doing that job for 7 years. So
to become the most winning captain in cricket history in the UK.
In the world.
In the world.
Oh, fuck.
Hang on.
Wisden, Cricketer of the Year.
Let's give ourselves a wrap.
In the world. Well, that's just a bit of, it's by default, really. I mean, it sounds very impressive, but I think just due to the amount of games we play in English county cricket. I mean, for an Australian state cricketer to have achieved that, they have to play until they were 80. So it's just the amount of games we play there.
Do we still have cricket in the States here?
Well, we've got some coaches that try to coach it.
Yeah, that's right. The under 12s. Well, thank you for the introduction, Adam, and hopefully you'll be here next week. I know we're going to be bringing a few guests in, so this week, instead of our guest later on in the show, we're going to get you to tell us a little story about an ex-boxer. So we'll get to that shortly. This week's Week That Was in Sports, brought to you by Official Beer. Due to be released in the next 3 weeks. Very excited about that, boys.
Looks amazing, doesn't it?
We're going to have a beer here, just there, I reckon. Maybe where the glass is.
Maybe where they can see it, yeah.
And where you can actually see it, and that'll be good.
The official, so will the official beer be the official beer of us?
It will be of Sports Corner. Yeah,
Well,
very
that's-
much so. Very much
Who
so.
coined that name?
Sports Corner. That was One-Eye Jez. One-Eye
Really?
Jez gets all the
Shout out
credit
to-
for that. So the way we've broken our week in sport up is NRL, football, cricket, AFL, and random crap. Random crap this week's going to be NBA and NBL because obviously the basketball seasons are still going. Christopher and myself will have a little chat about the NRL, football with Chris, cricket with Smokes, and a bit of Rob. AFL with Robbie hasn't got much to talk about because there's nothing happening yet.
Oh, it's heaps
and
happening.
then a bit about the basketball. But we'll all just jump in as we need to. So, Christopher,
Yeah.
round one.
Yeah, well, big
How'd
things
you
in
go?
rugby league. Oh, tipping-wise, shocking, but we all knew that. I'm the world's worst tipper.
What'd you get?
2.
What'd you get?
I got 4. I'm
I had
twice as good.
5.
Do you want to talk to me about NRL rather than him? Because I got 4.
Wait till the AFL.
Have you started tipping yet, Smokes?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm on John Kudis's tipping site, so I got 6 somehow or other.
6. So Smokey's in front. There we go.
Some people you said
I'm not
got
sure.
7 in our comp.
Wow.
7. 2 people got 7 in our comp.
That's insane.
They should be drug tested.
Yeah.
I
So
reckon.
someone picked the Titans and the Dolphins out. That's incredible.
I picked the
So,
Dolphins. Thank you very much.
No
Did
chance.
you back them?
100% I picked them. Look, I've even got it here. I picked the Eels that lost. I picked the Warriors that won. I picked the Panthers that lost. The mighty Seagulls. Cowboys won. Rabbits won. Dolphins got up. And I picked the Tigers to beat the Titans
You,
because the
picked,
Titans are
you
shit.
backed against the Titans. Your
I did.
local team.
I know.
We've seen them play before.
Yeah,
That's why
lots.
he's probably got- that's
Actually,
probably
that
why he's
game against the
back
West Tigers last year.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
indeed.
worst
Yeah.
game of
I picked
football ever.
a draw, actually.
Did you?
No wonder you get 2 out of 8.
What did you think of the Dolphins? Fins up.
Dolphins were good. I think Brisbane were really impressive too.
Yeah.
Going down to Penrith and winning. I know everyone's talking about Penrith, how like they've got a few cracks compared to last season.
It's
Lost a
just
couple of
excuses
players.
though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we've played one game, so
When-
I'm not
Yeah.
really right now.
When was the last premiership one in March?
I don't
Last
think
year.
there has been one.
Yeah, last year. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Panthers won round 1.
I didn't realise that. No, premiership.
Ah, okay. fair
But
call.
it was just a good round. There was like, and even this round, like there's some good games. But yeah, the Dolphins were really good. The crowd got involved. They were 12 all at half time.
38,000, I think they had there or
Yeah,
something.
more than I thought they'd
Yeah.
get.
You told me
That's
15.
massive.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Tell me 15.
I just-
And they still want to talk to you about NRL.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I didn't realise the Broncos were away as well. So it's a massive win down there.
Yeah.
That was a quality game, though. I watched that game pretty much all the way through.
Yep.
It was just a good game, interesting game that kept my eyeballs on it. That's for sure.
Did you watch the Eel Storm game?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
That was good. That was tight.
What about old mate breaking
Munster.
his finger?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
So I didn't realise. I thought he just split like the webbing, but he said his
I know. He
bone
said,
come through
Yeah,
the.
they put a photo on
they
NRL
didn't.
360 or something.
How
last
do they
night.
let him play with that?
tape
It's
it up
to
and
him.
give him a
There's
jab.
nothing you can do at that point. You just jab it up and play on.
Wow.
So that's a performance enhancing drug.
What's that?
If you got a busted finger that's out of its skin,
Yeah, that's a fair call.
and you that's performance enhancing.
Well, yes, that's
But I mean, it's
but you're not going to stop jabbing people
Yeah,
Well,
no,
because
of
you wouldn't
course.
have enough players.
that's what she said.
Yeah.
I need one of those jabs at the moment. Go. What are you saying, Smokes?
Why is it performance enhancing?
Well, because he wouldn't be able to play if he didn't have jabbed up.
You're just returning yourself to your former
Glory.
status. You're not enhancing. You're just it's like if you go off and with an injury and they fix it up. That's not.
Then why can't you use Ventolins during fights, Smokes? Because that's the same thing, isn't it?
That's a good point.
Thank
I
you.
think that's got.
I didn't know you couldn't.
No, some bloke got in trouble for it at the UFC a couple months back or last year.
Well, he's having an asthma attack.
No, he just used it during the like it wasn't an, he was just using it to open up his airways.
Wow.
He wasn't having an attack. It was just he was gassed.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. So Warriors nice. I didn't watch that game.
No, I fell asleep.
Yeah, boring. Panthers Bronx. That was a great game of footy. Good win. And then obviously the game of the round, the mighty Seagulls.
Yeah,
Daly Cherry Evans with a hat trick. Absolutely smashed the Bulldogs, who were tipped to win the comp. I don't know by
I
whom.
don't know
Well,
who
what,
tipped
what's
him in
your
the
injury?
comp.
Hey?
Are you concussed or is it your shoulder?
It's my shoulder, but I've had a lot of drugs. I feel a lot better. And if you notice there, Manly's on top of the table. Just want to let you know that one.
Yeah.
Cowboys Raiders, did you watch that? A
Yeah.
lot of close games.
That was
Yeah,
a
it
good game. I watched
yeah.
that.
It was.
Anyone stand out?
Drinkwater's a star.
He's awesome, isn't he?
Like, I know there was a lot of talk about he won the spot against the Hammer, but you're looking at him, he's a way better in my eyes. He's a way better ball handler.
Yeah, great footballer.
Follows the ball, follows kicks up the middle. He could be anything.
Canberra looked gone in that game, though. It was a remarkable effort to get back into it.
Yeah, and the Sticky's a sticky. His interviews, I love him.
Did he get upset?
Absolutely.
Did he start throwing shit?
No, I didn't think he's throwing stuff, but his after-match interviews, that's like better than the games for me.
What about the Rabbitohs and your boys? What happened there?
I thought it was pretty good. Like, we was tight up until sort of half-time. They were just a better team. They're those two teams, they didn't really buy this season. So they've sort of kept the same main core players from last season.
Well, the Sharks have still got to be a smoky to win it, don't they?
Nah, I don't think so. Like, old mate's your cousin's still out. He
is, Nico.
Yeah. Every time you see a story, it's an extra week or...
Well, he's done an ankle or something, hasn't he?
Yeah, he'll be out for a month, I reckon.
I think there's a bit of mental stuff there as well, to be fair.
Maybe.
Going through a bad trot.
But the Bunnies, like Blake Ellis, was really, really good. They're just a good side. They're clinical.
And then I reckon one of the games of the round was obviously the Dolphins' big win in their first ever NRL game. Friend of the show, Jared Wallace, did a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
He
Yeah,
ran the ball.
Yeah.
Passed the ball. It seems like he's got more people around him this year. Like last year, he did a lot of one-out stuff because there was no one there to pass the ball to at the time.
I think he was also trying to prove a point last year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like...
How good was
Kaufusi?
Kaufusi? Mate, I flicked over and I was watching the basketball and the football at the same time. Flicked over just as he's like nailed that one bloke. The first one he did. And then flicked over and back again, and he's done it like 2 times in 2.
Yeah, they were saying that
6. It was insane.
Brandon Smith was getting into him, and it triggered something, and he started like because he made a couple of mistakes early. Kaufusi.
Oh, did he?
Just and then Brandon Smith said something to him, and he just flicked the switch and just started fucking folding people.
Smith was the first one too.
But people were saying they may not win a game this year, the Dolphins. So this is massive.
Yeah, but it's just like I watched the doco.
Round 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Is it
There's
good?
only one episode out, I think, at the moment. But Wayne said that it's just about being consistent. So it'd be interesting to see this week, like if there's a big drop off, because like there's the highs and lows of a season.
Yep.
They've experienced the high that they sort of probably didn't expect to reach so early. Or probably internally they thought they could compete and win games, but
Against the Roosters, they were the favourites.
oh yeah, but favourites who's?
Roosters.
Yeah, but
They're the
favourites of bookmakers are making them up based on player stats. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
fair. And then the last game was West Tigers versus Titans.
yeah, stinker. I fell asleep, didn't watch all of it.
Really?
I don't know where Jared played.
For the Dolphins.
No, not Jaden. Sorry, not Jared.
He was, I don't know.
Was he on the bench?
He was 14.
Smart ass.
What the hell?
Dolphins.
Do you know what we heard then? Dolphins.
Comment from the super
It was like,
coach.
oh. Anyway, let's not. But the Titans got up and won, which is good.
I got an NRL question.
Yep.
So I saw on the weekend that all these players were getting sent off for
HIA.
HIAs, and like the players were blowing up because they reckon they hadn't even been hit in the head. What's going on?
The independent doctor, wasn't it?
Doctor.
So we basically got
They were
someone
in
watching
Newcastle, didn't it?
Watching the numbers, but it only happened 5 times throughout the throughout the round, and there was 17 people off for a concussion.
So what happened five times? it was
5
the-
times was independent.
Yep.
The other 12 would have been through medical staff from the team.
Because sometimes it's damn obvious that they can cut.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You
Like
take them off,
the
but
bloke, like a couple minutes into the Sharks Bunnies, there was no chance he could play.
yeah,
Like stumbled and whatever.
Was that when that fair tackle happened?
No. I don't think that was fair.
You don't think it was fair?
Nah.
Oh, I do.
You can't leave the ground like that. And
The shoulder charge him.
Yeah. You
you can't do it for any.
Yeah, you
purpose.
can leave the ground, but then as soon as you leave the ground, you're liable for what happens after it. So even if
I
you...
hit him hard.
Same happens in the AFL.
Yeah.
Is it?
You leave the ground, feet off the ground, and you cause injury, you're gone.
Yeah.
So more importantly, I didn't fill in on my tipping thing whether I was going to have the pizza melt or the veggie delight with Avo from Subway.
Well,
Which way would you have went?
We all know the answer.
Well, the pizza melt.
Yeah.
Anyone put my life on it, you're not having the veggies.
87%.
Anyone who had the veggie delight is
He's
definitely
lying himself.
well.
The other big news in NRL is the release of the new footy cards.
When did they?
They
That was
came
last week,
They
wasn't
came
it?
out Thursday just in time for kickoff.
which is good for a change.
How'd they go?
Really, really, really popular.
Very popular.
Obviously, we're in Queensland, so that
It's one of the major sports.
It's
up
one of the
here.
major sports up here. But yeah, they're really, really popular. Like they're $5 a pack, sort of thing. So they're affordable. I thought they were.
Are they not a bit too same?
No, they're more
Or less same.
less same.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, they're a bit more shiny. I think they're a bit.
Shiny.
Yeah, they got a couple more
Squirrel.
chrome cards. The inserts are better than they have been the previous years, anyway. But I think the rugby league cards are picking up.
Yeah.
They're not, obviously nowhere near as good as the AFL.
Do we do our tips after the review, or do we do them at the end? It's a
I
big decision.
tell you what, I'm just going to get my app up. I might as well do my tips.
Let's
for
do
this
them now.
week.
Okay, you ready, Smokey?
Well, has there been any big team news? That's probably the most
Is there any
important.
team news? That's on
Oh.
you. You're the team newser.
Well, I think Latrell's under an injury cloud, and that's game one.
so Rabbits, Panthers.
Yes, he's been named. He might not play.
Okay, I've gone Rabbits by 2
Your cousin's not playing.
What?
for the Sharkies.
For the
So
Sharkies.
no Nico Hines.
No, Nico Hines is still out.
I'm still going to pick them because I hate the Eels.
Um,
Who you got, Panthers or Rabbits, Smokes?
I'm going to go Rabbit.
Rabbits, what about Eels, Sharks?
Eel.
Rob, Eels, Sharks?
Sharkies.
You're going to go the Sharkies. They're your
I'm
team.
going to go Penrith to beat Souths.
Yeah.
Para to beat the Sharks.
Wow. Betting against your team. Broncos, Cowboys?
This is a good one. I like Cows.
I'm going Broncos at Suncorp.
Cowgirls.
What do you got? Broncos, yep. 2 each. Roosters, Warriors. Any news out of that one?
No, I'm back in the Roosters.
Yeah. And Allianz, I'll bounce back, I reckon.
Yep. Rooters.
What do you got, Smokes?
I'm going to go Warriors.
Warriors.
Of course you would.
At KO Stadium, the first home game for the Dolphins. So it's Dolphins v Ricky, and the Raiders. I'm going to go Dolphins again.
Nah,
I'm going to keep picking them until they lose.
Well, you won't pick them past this week. This will be the last
Who
time.
you got,
pick 'em.
Raiders?
Yeah, for sure.
Who you got, Smokes?
Well, I'm going to go Dolphins as well, I think.
You
I don't
copying
know why.
me.
Right, no, riding a wave. I think I'm going to say they're riding. I'm going to ride the wave.
Oh,
Jesus.
Dolphins. Well
Fins up.
done. Well done.
Okay, Storm at home to the Bulldogs.
Worst game ever.
It's going to be the Storm by 30.
40.
yeah, still.
Everyone's on the Storm. West Tigers. What do you think about the whole West Tigers team? The new team they
I
got
don't understand why they played Coruscant
off the bench. What the fuck? He's their captain. They brought him in specifically to play 90 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
It doesn't make sense.
They're going to beat the Knights though at home.
I still don't rate Luke Brooks at all. Adam Dewey, I don't mind. They've got a decent forward pack, but just
So who you got, Knights or Tigers?
fuck Tigers.
Rob?
Tigers.
Knights stink.
Smokey?
I'm going to go Knights because I don't think I've ever seen the time. Every time I watch them, they lose. So
Can you not watch that game then? Because I'm backing them.
Ooh.
Okay, the Wooden Spoon favourites, the Dragons, up against the Wooden Spoon second favourites, the Titans, down at Net Strata Jubilee Stadium. Wow. I'm going Titans. Any big changes?
Nah, Fafita's re-signed for a couple of years.
He did he?
That's the big news out of there.
Oh,
Yeah.
And what about
They'll talk about him going to the Bronx.
old mate with his knee, foreign?
He's
They
been
named him though, but
He's been named, but
he won't play.
same with Latrell. Latrell's been named, but
So what's that mean? Brimson will go to 5'8", and then they'll bring
yeah, it makes the
Campbell
most
to
sense.
fullback?
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, okay. I'm still with the Titans. So you got
Dragons.
who you got, Smokey?
I'm going to go Dragons.
Okay. Last question. Pizza melt, veggie delight with over.
You know the answer.
I'm going pizza.
And I'm back in the buy over Manly.
You're back in the bye. You don't reckon we win that one?
No chance.
Okay,
Go the
they're-
bye.
They're submitted.
How did Tommy play first week back?
He scored the first try, obviously, and he had a blinder actually. But I think it's just because DCE was playing so well. I'll tell you who did play well was Cooper Johns.
Yep.
I like him. I hope he stays there. I hope Schuster's knee stays sore for a little while. Shouldn't say shit like that, should you really?
No,
But-
don't wish injuries on people.
Anyway,
Especially when you got
moving on. So AFL.
AFL's next.
We've skipped to the AFL. First round this week.
No.
Next week.
Yes.
Why
9
do they
days.
start so late?
Why? Because we don't have as many rounds as the.
Well, it's only 2 weeks difference.
Yeah,
It's
and we
so
finished a
late.
week earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have the buys like you guys have for the state of origin and things like that.
Oh, fair enough.
We don't need state of origin. We invented it.
Fair enough. Well, we don't have to
Jeez,
go
it'd
through
be
our
good
tips
though.
this week because we can do that next week
We can
when we know what's going on. But what are you looking forward to this year in the AFL?
look. There's for the first time that I can remember, there is probably 9 teams that would give themselves a genuine chance to win the premiership this year. And that hasn't
Who
happened
you
in the AFL. We've got, well, in my mind, the top 4 will be Melbourne, Richmond, Brisbane, and
Sydney.
Geelong. Sorry, Sydney. Sydney will be in that next batch. That's 5. Collingwood will consider themselves a big chance. Freo, the Western Bulldogs,
Carlton.
and Carlton. They'll all consider themselves chances and all have legitimate reasons to do so.
What about your boys?
Nah, man.
Effington.
Yeah.
Effington will.
The
be in the second half
the
of
drought
that.
will continue.
What's it been? About 6 million days since they've won a
Yeah,
final.
something like that. That's a great Twitter account.
Yeah, it is, it
Twitter,
is.
yeah.
And the other thing to look forward to this year is that I think there's 9 teams that have got new captains this year. So it's
Oh, wow.
a real big shake-up of the leadership of teams.
Yeah.
Brisbane, being my team, have Harris Andrews and Lockie Neal, which is a great combination of co-captains.
I heard you say something the other day that you've been to every home game bar one.
Bar one, yeah.
What was that
bar
one?
Brisbane played Hawthorn. So I've been to every home game at the Gabba from 1991 through to today. I missed one because I was a real crook. So
And have you sat in the same seat?
I get different seats every year,
Why?
don't I? Why?
On purpose?
No, just to move around, and
He got a special invite to upgrade his seat this season.
I did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I did.
From the club.
Yeah.
For extra money or?
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
No,
Yeah.
but he offsetted it by not sponsoring a player.
No, I end up still doing that. Don't tell
You
Jen.
fucking Jen.
She'll
Jen.
kill me.
So how's that where you sponsor a player? Does that mean when they run out, this player is sponsored by Robert Verhoeven?
No, not quite. So they have 3 sponsors for a player, and it's just a way to get the players a bit of extra cash. And then we have a big do.
Because they need it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it all goes to players' funds for trips and stuff like that.
Who'd you got?
My man's Cam Rayner.
Hookers.
Cam Rayner.
Cam Rayner, yeah, I've sponsored him since day one. So I've got a really good.
And do you know Cam? Does
I've
he
met
know
him.
you sponsor him?
Met him a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I've got a real good track record of sponsoring players. They all end up delisted, in jail, injured.
Who ended up in jail?
Fev.
Oh, no.
So I sponsored Fev.
He's made a comeback though.
Yes.
He's doing all right. Tom Rockcliffe, he got kicked out of the club for bashing or grabbing a player in the throat. And what else we had? Oh yeah, Albert Proud. I think he was in jail, stealing a car in Ipswich, allegedly. Yeah, so I haven't had a great record. So Cam Rayner's been a good one.
Sorry, Cam.
No, he's all right.
If you're watching this champion, you could end up in
He's
prison.
lasted 4 years, so it's not
So
a
he's
bad
done
thing.
all right.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. But no, the AFL season is going to be fantastic. Next Thursday kicks off with the big traditional game, Carlton and Richmond. 100,000 people, sold out.
So it's not the big traditional game of the Swans versus the Gold Coast.
No, that'll be on the Saturday night. That's going to be a ripper game, to be honest. The Swans, look, I think the Swans this year.
We play shit up here, though.
Yeah, but I think the Swans, it's going to be one or the other this year. They'll either be top 4 or they'll miss the finals. I reckon they
said the same thing
overachieved.
last year, didn't
Well,
they?
you
They
said
overachieved last year.
You're contradicting yourself because you said you've got them in your top 8, but not in the top 4.
Yeah, I don't.
But you just
But
said they'll
you
be in the
said
top
they'll
4
be-
or they'll be...
4, they'll be not at all.
Well, they could be 5th and fought out in the last week. I don't care. They're not going to win the premiership, the Swans. I'll tell you right now, if they win the premiership, I will eat your Swans cap on this table with a bit of red sauce or something.
Keen.
I'm leaving that alone.
And then they're not going to win the premiership.
What do you... who wins it?
I think Melbourne should be the outright favourites.
Are we going to leave the little fat Melbourne player there till
Now,
they
why
lose?
the fuck is that there?
Yeah.
You know what?
No one supports.
It's a cookie
Yeah,
jar.
one person does.
He's not here.
Yeah, and I bought it as a gift for him.
Yeah.
And he give it back to you.
And he never even took it. He just left it. So, like, here it is. It's sitting here.
Do you see Clary's got a fucking man bun?
He doesn't.
He
That man is
does.
the ugliest man in football.
He's so hard
and that's
to
not even
like.
allegedly.
Yeah.
He is just. So, you know, he's got to wear sunscreen for night games, that guy. He's,
Well said, Fabio.
yeah. I own a mirror.
Fabio,
I know.
After he
Who you got winning it?
ran into the seagull.
One of the best things you'll ever see on YouTube, Fabio running into a seagull.
Who have I got winning that? Give me Collingwood.
Collingwood.
I'll give you Collingwood.
I've got Collingwood Sydney grand final and Sydney winning by 1. Smokey, who do you follow in the AFL?
None of them.
Oh,
None of them.
Come on, buddy.
Ballarat under 6s.
No, I guess if I'm going to follow anyone, it's the Suns. I tend to just follow local teams wherever I go. So, but I'm not. I have to be honest. I'm not one of the great. I usually tune into the AFL final, but other than that, I don't know. I just never got. I haven't got into it really. So.
Oh, Smokes, I'll take you to a game at the Gabba, mate. I'll get you into it.
Oh, yeah, I hear you're the man up there. The number 1 membership holder.
That's it, mate.
Yeah.
That's it. That's me.
Sponsors players, don't tell Jan.
She's going to kill me when she
He gives
finds out.
other men money
That's
to
the
do
That's
things.
the first thing I'm doing when I finish this podcast.
He's ringing Jan and
Calling
saying your
Jan.
husband
Yeah.
gives other men money to do things, to play with balls.
Jesus.
Wow, those drugs were strong. Sorry, Rob.
I'm
Anyway,
lost
we're
for
moving over to cricket now. Smokey, this is your baby. Obviously, Australia actually won a test match in India.
Can we get a Queensland second 11 update, please?
No, I'm not coaching the Queensland second 11. I'm doing a master class. I'm not sure why. I don't know why they're calling it master, but it's for up
'Cause
and
you're there.
coming.
Did they leave out the word beta?
Oh,
Jesus. I think one of my cricket bats growing up was the Master Blaster.
The Master Blaster.
There was a Slazenger.
well, there you go.
So, what do you got? India, Australia, mate. How do you think that went?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It's been a fascinating series. It's 2-0. Australia nowhere, not looking like they're going to pose any threat to India at all. They lost the first game by an innings, the second test by 6 wickets, and hadn't got to 300 in any of the 4 innings. So, injuries, mental health issues, people leaving for birth of children. It's been a sort of diabolical test series. Now all of a sudden they've found themselves going into the 4th test. If they can win that, they draw the series, which would just be incredibly unexpected. So I think the highlight.
I'm going to be controversial. I reckon it's because they got a real captain back.
Ouch.
Don't rate Paddy Cummins then.
No, well, he's a good tosser.
Oh.
He's the most
Why
winning
is he
tosser in history, isn't he now?
9 in a row.
Why is he no good?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, mate, I just think Steve Smith's one of the greatest captains Australia's ever had.
He's come out and said he
Who's
doesn't
your
want the job.
favourite cricket player in Australia, though?
Who's my favourite cricketer?
This is going to say a lot
Ashton
about you.
Agar,
Yeah, well, then there you go.
of course.
Your
Yeah.
opinion means nothing.
Yeah. I'm good with that, Chris.
Sorry for the interruption. Keep going.
Yeah, but it's been a funny series. I mean, Australia hasn't, in 6 innings, the top score is 267 combined, so that they haven't really mastered the conditions over there with the bat. And Australia, other than Nathan Lyon, obviously the GOAT, they're not renowned for their depth of spin bowling. Australia, especially in subcontinent conditions, and they've gone over. They've taken Swepson, Murphy, and now Kuhneman, and they've all bowled as well as almost probably as well as the Indian spinners. So it's actually been the Indian seamers which have been the difference really. So
What happened to Zampa? Wasn't Zampa one of our great spinners for a while?
well, T20 he is, but he's never really.
Didn't he crack the shits for not making the team?
He did crack the shits.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and he hasn't played a red ball game in 4 seasons and then complained he didn't get onto a test team.
Oh, wow. And obviously, Kuhneman's one of your boys, mate,
Well,
up
he
in
bowls 10.
in
He
Queensland.
bowls in Queensland.
I've probably had 2 batting sessions with him. He's not. He's a genuine number.
How many runs has he
Not
scored in the series?
Oh, mate, what he the amount of runs he scores isn't worth talking about. So, but he's his coach is John Davison, who's another consultant coach up at Queensland, and John Davison is known as the spin whisperer. He's most famous for being Nathan Lyon's personal spin bowling coach. So, when Matt Kuhneman got his haul in the 3rd test, he just texted congratulations. So because
You're
You're
breaking up there, mate.
Yeah.
because I never thought he'd
So how old's Kuhneman?
Mid-20s?
27, I'd say 26, 27.
And
But,
he's from Queen's Cricket Club here on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, that's where he started, here on the Gold Coast.
He's a Dolphins player, yeah. So he said that his greatest achievement, even more so than Nathan Lyon, because he never thought that Kuhneman would even get a game for Queensland. So he put that down as his greatest performance as a coach. And we'll have to get him on the podcast at some stage, actually. John Davison is a ripper bloke.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Good storyteller. So,
Yeah, we need one.
Mate, and more importantly, yesterday, Nepal beat the UAE. Nepal were 8 for 229 and UAE all out for 187. You got much to say about that game?
no, I could not tell you about one player in there.
What about the Isle of Man?
But what I can tell you about is what's going on with Queensland cricket.
Ooh.
Well, Brisbane Heat is, they were gone for money, weren't they, in the Big Bash, as you remember?
Yep.
And they came from nowhere to sneak it into the final. Well, the same thing could have been said about the Bulls. Both teams coached by Wade Seckham. And they're now one win away from being the Shield final versus WA. So that'll be kind of a rerun of the Heat versus Scorchers, WA Queensland final. But they're making a habit out of getting into finals, which they probably don't deserve to be in. So, it's interesting how it sort of mirrored one another. They've still got to win that game, but if they win it, they're in the final.
Wow.
Hasn't really been.
And Bangladesh beat England yesterday in Bangladesh. Is Bangladeshi wicket similar to Indian wickets? Like, is it turn over there?
Yeah, Bangladeshi wickets. Bangladesh is kind of like India on steroids. It's really just no spinning wickets. They probably don't have the population, obviously, and they don't have the amount of people and the quality of spin bowlers in general. But the wickets is hotter, more humid. They spin just as much. So going to Bangladesh is a hard job as well. So tough one.
Well, I got a lot more to say about the England cricket team coming up shortly in my world wrap. So I'll talk to you more about that one in a minute. EPL, Christopher, you been watching it?
Oh, there's nothing much else to say except Liverpool won 7-0 against Man United.
7-0.
And fucking the best thing about it is the video of Gary Neville watching the game with Jamie Carragher, and he's just blowing up, it's so funny. And then Man United tweeting that Liverpool had won but didn't put the score in. And then obviously Jamie Carragher's right. As soon as he saw it, he's like, they didn't even put the score in, and they just went berserk.
Biggest score ever.
Yeah, insane.
Is it really?
Against Man U, yeah. Never let 7 goals in before.
A couple of weeks ago, they were talking about Liverpool were closer to relegation than the top 4.
Yep.
And now they're 1 win away from the top 4.
That's amazing, isn't it? How it
Klopp.
changes.
Yeah,
Klopp.
well, at this time of the year, the relegation fight for me is better than the top.
Yeah, for sure.
There's that top 4 to 6 are always pretty cemented, but there's some real good teams. Well, historically, some good teams in this relegation.
And how's Wrexham going?
They're first. They're first. So
do they go straight through this time? Because they had to play last time
if
to
they
go
if
up.
they stay first, I think they're 1 point ahead, and they've got one game in hand. So
did you watch the
I've
Welcome
watched
to
it.
Wrexham?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what a great show.
Fantastic
Mate,
show.
Ryan Reynolds' personal friend.
It's the second
He's
best.
actually not.
Personal friend.
He's not. He's going to play me and win my movie, though.
It's the second best real-life documentary in soccer that I've ever seen.
Second, what was the best?
Ted Lasso.
I love
I
Ted
thought you were going to
Lasso.
say Sunderland till I die.
No, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso's a
They've just
ripper.
announced, Brett, that Lasso's coming back very shortly.
Love that.
Still haven't watched it.
Oh,
What about EPL? You an EPL fan there, Smokes?
I think we've
Have we lost him? He's gone.
Well, no real loss, is it?
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
he's back.
I think we've lost him.
Yeah, no, you're not sounding good, brother.
The Chelsea, I'm a Chelsea fan, I guess.
Oh, well done.
We've just got him back in
We
time
can
for
stay
that.
being friends
Yeah.
now.
Are you a Chelsea fan?
I'm a Chelsea fan. I've been a Chelsea fan since 1996 when we were shit.
Wow.
Because I got told when I moved to England that I had to pick a team, and we'd moved to Fulham, and it was the closest team, and they were shit. and then I saw Gianfranco Zola,
Go on.
and he turned me into a football fan. Unbelievable
cool.
footballer. So
That's a good reason.
amazing. Okay, let's go to basketball. A couple of big things happening in basketball. Obviously, we're at the final stage of the NBL. We are
Come on, the
Breakers
Breakers.
and the Kings.
Yeah,
Kings get beat at home and then smash Breakers over there. That was supposed to go the other way around, wasn't it?
yeah, I was pretty happy after game 1 because I've backed the Breakers. To
What'd you
win
get 'em at?
$31.
When start of the season?
No. This is 10. There's a couple games in. Like,
Really?
yeah, I thought them and Cairns were just priced really wrong. Sydney were like that stage were like $1.45 favourites.
Yeah. Well, so they should be. They should win it by heaps.
Well, yes and no.
You got the MVP dude. Is now signed with Washington.
Yeah,
The
you got a
Wizards.
2-year deal.
2
with the
years,
Wizards.
yeah.
Does he get to finish the final series before he goes?
Yep. Yeah. And
That was part of the deal.
Oh, was it?
And it's a contract buyout as well. So
So the Kings get something for
Kings
it.
get some money and
Oh,
it
nice.
goes for 2 years.
And that was a Moldovan deal.
I believe so.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he done a great job with that one. So who you got, Kings or Breakers? You want Breakers,
I want
obviously.
Breakers, yeah.
Do you think they can do it?
Yeah.
Surprising how well they played in the first game, actually.
No, if you watch, I'm sure you don't, but Homicide Williams,
Not a fan.
he's outspoken.
Yeah.
But he knows his shit. He broke it down probably a couple of days before and said if Sydney Kings defend this way, which they defend sometimes, this one guy will take them to
Dominate.
town.
He
And
did. Wow. That's cool.
So,
$31
but
bucks.
then they
You're
made
buying the
adjustments.
chocolates.
Hell yeah, next week.
Yeah, if we're eating chocolates, I'll definitely buy them.
Well, we will
Or
be if
beer.
you win.
Let's go that way. Hey, what about the NBA? Obviously, the big news is that Jar beat up a kid, rubbed a gun in someone's face, got suspended, then not suspended. Now he's suspended for 2 weeks. I think.
And they lost the game.
I don't
as a
think
given
everyone
player.
knows, do they?
I think
He's apologised.
I think
Oh, that's
he's
all right then.
He's probably out indefinitely.
Yeah, he said now that he's out
How bad's
indefinitely.
Nike, Phil?
Yeah,
Well,
he said that he's going to go away, have a good hard look at himself, and try and be better.
yeah, so the footage of him on Instagram Live in a club with a gun came after the other stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like
But is that old footage or is that like
no,
new?
No, it was
live.
it was
Oh, it was
live.
live.
Yeah.
So him beating up the kid and then
So they were playing street ball or something, weren't they?
yeah, and then pulling a gun are completely separate to him in a club with a gun.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's pretty sad.
it's
Yeah, you boys went over to the States last year and watched a bit of basketball.
We did.
What about those Knicks? They've won 9 in a row.
Am I not
Did
wearing-
you watch
am
the
I wearing a
Knicks
Knicks hat today?
Celtics? Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
a Knicks hat on. Did you
Hey.
watch it yesterday, Knicks Celtics?
I saw the highlights of it, yeah.
Mate, they were losing by 15 points.
Yep.
And midway through the third quarter, they come back and they were up by 3. And they come back, what they win by in overtime, didn't they? Double overtime, they won it.
Yeah,
It was an amazing comeback.
Well, they've got a streak of 9. There's not even a team with a streak of four
Wow.
apart from them. So they're
it's
the hot
tough.
team.
It's a tough game to get, a tough league to get
To
big
win,
streaks
yeah.
in.
Well, the Bucks have got 9-1 and they've got 9-1 over the last 10 games. So that's pretty impressive. Who wins it?
I don't know. I watched a bit of a Bucks game the other day, and I didn't like Joe Ingles was getting more of a run than I thought. But they've got so many options. They've got Drew Holiday. They've got Chris Middleton. They've got Lopez. I like the Bucks, but yeah, I think I'll go Bucks.
Bucks, what do you got?
I've been on Boston all year, but I'm tipping towards the Nuggets.
Nuggets?
I don't think they're going to have any competition in the West.
They're way in front, aren't they?
They are.
What about Suns and Kings, though?
Well,
The Suns, yeah.
It
The
depends
Suns
how. I know KD got 30-something the other day, but how they gel.
Yep.
I don't think have they been all on the court at the same time?
Not yet. I don't think so.
All four, so it depends how that goes, I guess.
The Nets are playing better.
They couldn't have gone worse.
The Nets are like our New York Jets, mate.
They are. I mean, they just find different ways to screw it up.
They do. They do. Anyway, so we've got some sports news from around the world. I bring 2 quick stories to you, boys. You have some commentary around it. They're fucking long stories, so I'm not going to go through them both. But there's a football team in the UK, the RNAS Coldross ladies team, lost 40-0
So in football,
in soccer. Yeah.
Okay.
They could only field 8 players. They're on the. It was a hammering, a crash defeat at home to local rivals Helston on Sunday in the Pirate FM Cornwall Women's League. It's been a tough season for Coldros, which has lost a number of players. Posted elsewhere, in 11 games, they've conceded 177 goals.
Fuck.
And they've scored 3.
Well, being a card carrier member of the Pirates, I was pretty impressed with that result. 40-0. 40 goals. That's one every 2 minutes.
177 to 3 in the last 11 games.
Imagine the cheer when they finally got one of those.
Yeah, credit to them for turning up.
I'm tipping they're not.
Well, they are.
Only
They had
of them.
8.
Yeah, well.
It says here there was no Mickey taking. It was only 4-0 after 20 minutes, but 18-0 at half time. Jesus.
Holy snap.
Remember when Australia beat American Samoa? It was like 31-0 or something.
That was when Timmy Cale went sick.
Yeah, and Archie Thompson got like 9 goals or 7 goals or something.
The team are improving every day, and I'm really proud of them.
Well, good on them. No, good on them for trying. Give them a little badge or something.
Why don't they just sack the whole thing and let them move on? Anyway, this is the one I want to talk to Smokes about.
But he's gone.
Bazball.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum have fundamentally changed Test cricket with Bazball. They've completely revolutionised England's Test team, guiding them to 10 wins in 12. Bazball with Sir Alistair Cook has praised the pair's approach. So explain this to me. So Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes are the coaches now?
Captain
Stokes
and
is the
coach.
captain. McCollum's the coach.
Okay. And really he's just going to having a bit of a slog, isn't he? Is that what Bazball is all about?
Pretty much.
And they're saying here that they won't do it in the Ashes.
So this is my thing, right? Like, Bazball works when you're on flat wickets and you're playing subordinary bowling attacks.
Yeah,
You
I
come
don't-
up- you
I don't
come
think
up-
it works in India.
Well, it didn't work in Pakistan.
Hmm.
They absolutely crucified them over there, and no team's been able to win over in Pakistan.
And they just come out and give it a slog.
They just play
Maybe it
through
would
the
work in India if they actually had a
They
crack.
just play through the line. It would work in India if they weren't playing the Indian bowlers.
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
opinion, because the Indian bowlers are too good for them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
it won't work against Australia. There's no chance that on seaming wickets in England that they'll go out there trying to hit 7 runs and over.
Well, this was my big question to Smokes, and we will ask him, and we'll come back on it next week, is if you're going out there and you're slogging and you played the last 12 matches this way, yeah, now you come into an Ashes series, you're completely changing the dynamics of how you're playing. That's got to have an effect, doesn't it?
Isn't that? And actually, Smokes and I have talked about this around the lunchroom, and that's what's happened with Australia going over to India. They come off 2020 games in Australia, went over to play a Test series in India, and it didn't work.
Didn't work at
It's
all.
taken them 2 tests to get into the right group.
How long's Test cricket got left? Do you think it'll disappear?
No, I don't.
You don't, do you?
Yeah, no.
I know you don't want it
I don't
to.
think
No,
the
it'll-
second tier teams will stick around.
That's the thing. It'll be Australia, England,
So
South
top
Africa.
6 or whatever.
Yeah, but I can't see the likes of Afghanistan and Ireland and those teams working themselves into a position where they can compete,
Wow, it's sad.
It is
Sad for
sad.
cricket.
because it's a true game, test of the format.
So moving forward, this is where we're going to bring our special guest in. They can tell us a little bit of a story about who they are. They would have joined in halfway around anyway. We're going to get Smokes to tell his best Mike Tyson story. Have you heard any of his Mike Tyson stories?
No.
Have you?
No, I've heard about a million of his other stories.
We'll do
and
that one
they're
next week.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That'll be good. We've done our footy tips already, but our hot tip for the charity this week. So this is thanks to Platinum Standard Grading. We're going to put $100 on Rob's tip, and you get to pick the charity.
Well,
Who's your charity?
Beyond Blue.
Beyond Blue? We'll put
No,
that-
can I change it? Please?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course
Please?
you can.
Young Care.
Young Care, okay.
Do you know what Young Care is?
It helps kids.
Kind of. It helps people that aren't people that need full-time care that aren't elderly.
Oh, they put
So-
them in old people's homes and stuff at the moment.
Well,
They
that's-
take them out of there and then
put
give them their own.
into yeah. So
Great charity.
fantastic charity here in Queensland as
So you
well.
got $100, Rob. Thanks to Platinum Standard Grading, one of our great sponsors.
I saw this on the run sheet, but I didn't know what the heck it was. So I've got to come up with something.
You got to come up with your big tip for everyone. It can be
Okay.
rugby league, it can be cricket, it can be a horse, it can be a
Well,
dog.
I don't know nothing about horses and dogs, so we're going to go. We're gonna put our money on the Cowboys this week.
The Cowboys on the snozzle.
On the schnozzle in the dozzle.
And what's that paying?
$2.06.
$2.06. So hopefully we'll get $206.
Yep. Wouldn't
That's
that be
not
great?
bad, actually. Yeah, well, and we'll see how we go for
It'll
next
be
week.
be hilarious. The bloke who knows little about league, but I do like watching it. So
You do like watching it.
So
Well, that's
just-
all. So that's you heard it here first. Rob, $2.06, $100 on the snoz, thanks to Platinum Standard Grading, and on the Cowboys to win outright.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we're going to get Ruby to put a graphic in week by week.
Paygram.
Yep.
Great producer.
PAGRAM.
Just so we can show at the end of the year, as we've gone through, that what a great investor I am.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do is if you win,
Yep.
you get to go again next week.
No, let's change it
No,
around.
because then what happens is you could do like 8 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay.
What's the chance of that happening?
0.
None.
That's a good bet, I think.
Boys, thanks so much for our inaugural, that's a word, isn't it? Inaugural Sports Corner video podcast from the boys over at
Shout
Podfire.
out to Smokes and his great reception.
Yeah, Smokes and his reception of the under 12 batting classes that he's doing at the moment.
He's got to get off that happy mobile service.
He does,
Get
indeed.
onto one of the big ones.
But thanks, guys. Hit a home run. Cheers.
Thanks, Brett.
Hit a home run.
You like that?
Nah,
What do we
No
say?
word.
today. What do they do in the corner?
Block it.
Block
No.
it.
What do you do in the corner? I know you do in the corner.
May all your edges go to ground.